Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of the Hearthstone Report. We have some exciting news for you this week. A lot of new information concerning the upcoming expansion, the Rastakhan's Rumble, and some of the pre-order details. So, JJ.
Well, first of all, we got the latest Hearthstone update, which was on November 5th, which means that you can now purchase your Rastakhan's Rumble bundles in the in-game store.
As a pre-order. The 4 new cards were integrated into the classic
The 4 new classic cards that we talked about before.
Yeah, go check that out if you haven't seen them yet. Every player got, I believe, 6 free Boomsday packs with this last gesture, and there was also the quest series of Celebrate the Players, where you just had to challenge your friend to get a lot of, like 500 gold, essentially, for 5 challenges there.
Exactly. That was to celebrate 100 million players in Hearthstone. And you can still claim those rewards up until November 11th, which I believe is the exact day that this goes live.
Pretty good. Also,
I think there's a few hours left when this goes live.
Okay, so better get on that. So also, nice little fun fact that I picked off at the side is that when you're opening packs now, the spacebar now flips the cards.
I believe that was always the case.
I saw that as news. I saw that being posted somewhere as news.
I know that for sure that you could always move the packs over with spacebar. I'm not sure if you could also open it.
It said somewhere that that's new, so I'm
talking about things. The quest that you get for challenge for challenging a friend, you get 100 gold. You don't actually have to be the one challenging. You can also be challenged.
Them. Yeah. You have to just be playing them 5 times over. You need to back out before and challenge a game. Just play 5 games against a friend.
Then I suppose let's talk about the thing that everyone's here for.
Yeah, we got a new card in the Rastakhan's Rumble. They bring Ice Block back, but for Paladin this time.
And it's not a secret. That would be OP as hell.
It's not even a secret.
Like a 1 mana Ice Block.
Well, yeah. Maybe.
Because if it's a Paladin secret, it has to be 1 mana.
Probably.
So yeah.
It's called Timeout. It's a 3 mana Paladin spell, as we already stated, and it says your hero is immune until your next turn.
Note that you can play that on your own turn, and then still prevent damage on your own turn and on your opponent's turn.
Exactly.
So if you have a weapon up, you can get a bit of extra juice out of it.
Hit something, and then you're already immune for that. This seems like a card for combo decks more than the current type of deck that Paladin is playing, which is just aggro, odd and even pally.
This also works well in a control-oriented deck.
Well, yeah, for one turn, but
and I think primarily it is a good card against combo decks.
You think so?
Because you can stall out the combo for another turn. It gives you another shot at winning the game.
Well, for one
because
turn.
That's the thing you're trying to do against combos, to prevent them from pulling the combo off, or at least delay them.
Yeah,
and in that case, you're delaying them for a turn.
Typically, that's, of course, just for one turn. I think for combo decks specifically, this would be the most effective, just like Ice Block was. Because it's going to work a lot in the same way. But Paladin currently isn't doing that, so we'll see how this card actually finds its way into the upcoming meta.
Well, we talked about the fact that Paladin is getting a lot of new control cards, and I think this fits in with the theme as well.
Yeah, maybe. They're trying to push a new archetype for sure.
So maybe that deck will actually be a thing.
Got Immortal Prelay, which will be a good idea for a mill strategy, maybe. Anti-fatigue.
Got Shavala the Tiger.
Yeah, Shavala, pretty good.
Huge beast.
Oh, huge beast. So yeah, that's a new card that has been teased. There's probably gonna be more and more cards being revealed throughout the upcoming weeks, of course, and we're gonna talk about each and every one on the upcoming Hearthstone reports as well. So what's the next thing you have?
The next thing is the pre-releases. They're coming back.
Pre-releases.
So you can go to a public venue where they're hosting a pre-release party. There will be a list somewhere soon, somewhere on the Blizzard website.
Link in the description to everything we are citing, by the way.
You can also create your own pre-release event, but in July or June, I want to say, they introduced the ability to actually host unlisted or private Fireside gatherings. So you don't actually have to even leave the house, you just register a Fireside gathering.
It requires a minimum attendance of 3 people.
I'm not sure if that applies for this specifically to register it. If you're having a public one and you want to get your perks for it, you definitely have to have 3. I'm not entirely certain how the requirements work, but I'm going to post a link to the forum post where they say like the stuff for how to create your own private setting.
That's a good idea. So if you're more interested in doing that, maybe you're considering it yourself, go read up on that and be on the hunt for new information coming up. So that's gonna be, that's pretty exciting. It shouldn't be too hard to get 3 people together for a Fireside Ball if you really want just the names of the card back or whatever. Also, you'll be able to open your pre-release or pre-purchase packs in those Fireside gatherings before the expansion released.
You can, at least if it's the same as last time, you cannot buy packs with gold during the time period, sadly.
True. You can play the Tavern Brawl, the specific Tavern Brawl with the new decks or deck archetypes, and you can open pre-purchase bundles, but you cannot buy your packs with gold. That is unfortunate, but that's how it is. People like us, we're gonna have to wait until the release day, but we're gonna bring you a pack opening for sure on release day.
Yes, there is 2 more things. First of all, the quarterly report from Activision Blizzard is out about their financials and stuff, and apparently the Hearthstone player base is, like, the player numbers are going down, and also Boomsday didn't perform as well as Knights of the Frozen Throne did, which took the same time frame last year.
Yeah.
That itself is not necessarily worrying, but if that is a continuing trend, that might have implications for the future of the game.
There has been some criticism about the monotony of this meta, so maybe that is probably related to that. That's something to be still watched.
Another thing that I think we should quickly talk about is there's no article for this, but they released on their press site some pictures for the Rumble Run that I believe weren't there when we talked last about the new expansion, and they showed a picture where you can choose your shrine and one where you can choose a teammate for the Rumble Run. So I think we should maybe talk about those 6 cards really quickly. Those are exclusive to the Rumble Run.
Correct.
None of those are collectible cards.
None of them be able to play in Constructed because, for example, these shrines are really, really strong. We have the Shaman Shrine first, Tributes from the Tides. It's a 0 mana, 0/3, and your battle cries trigger 2 additional times. This plus the walk. Yes, please.
That is very important because other effects have said twice, and if you have 2 effects out that say that they're triggered twice, they guess what? They trigger twice.
Yeah.
With this, they should then trigger. I'm not sure in which order it calculates. If it's +2 then ×2, or if it's first ×2 then +2. So it's either
the walk. Yeah, it's tough.
No, I'm saying if you have.
I mean the walk should trigger 6 times, right?
Well, that's the question. If you have this and Bran or the elemental that does
the murmuring.
The murmuring elemental, then whether it triggers 4 or 6 times is not entirely clear, but at least it does trigger more than twice.
Exactly. And regular ones will trigger 3 times with this.
Even more insane, the Druid Shrine.
Yeah.
First of all, it has better stats.
That is crazy.
They also all have Shrine, which means that they get revived after 3 turns, which we talked about before. And whenever you gain armor, refresh your mana crystals.
Refresh your mana crystals. That means hero power means refresh your mana crystals.
Exactly. That means worst case scenario, you get your current mana total -2 added on top of your mana that you can use in a turn.
Insane.
In the best case scenario, you got a few armor gain cards, and you can just make insanely long turns.
Absolutely crazy.
I mean, that also somewhat depends on what cards are eligible for drafting in this format, but
but that is really, really strong.
That's
the other
still
one,
either way is good.
Next one is the Paladin one, Shavala's Vengeance. After your hero takes damage, deal 5 to the enemy hero.
How good would this be in Warlock?
Oh yeah, in Warlock this will be really, really strong. I'm not sure if there's some combo there where you can take a bunch of damage for your hero.
Well, the one thing that I can think of how you can intentionally take damage for a hero is with a weapon.
Yeah.
And that's actually for Paladin about it.
How about, like, Apothecary is a Warlock card, right? Cards that deal damage to your hero every time you do something. Those are the cards you need to be on the look for there. So if you can manage to take damage one by one with your hero, then you're dealing a lot to the...
there is one other card that can allow your hero to take damage in Paladin, which is on the next set of cards that they showed, which is the teammates that you can choose for Paladin. Oh, 3 of them at the very least.
Right now.
One of which is the Glory Seeker, a 4-mana 3/1 minion that reads, whenever this minion takes damage, your hero takes it instead.
So there should be a way to make that happen.
I believe some of those cards were already out there from BlizzCon, but the actual assets were
even just this plus Wild Pyromancer plus spells, right? And your hero plus the Shrine. Hero takes damage.
But if you're doing it with Pyromancer, you can only do it 5 times, and then you have to wait 3 turns for the Shrine to come back.
Dies, right? But 5 times 5 is 25 damage to the enemy hero.
That is true.
That is pretty strong. And the Pyromancer himself, of course, needs to survive, so you need to heal that.
I mean, I assume that the bosses or the enemies in this scale somewhat similarly to other single-player modes.
That's not going to be that surprise.
25 later on won't be as huge, but it's still about half.
But it's an idea. So the other one is the Walking Fort. It has Taunt, 6 mana, 2/5, and this minion can only take 1 damage at a time. This is an interesting new concept, which means that, for example, if you have...
That's not a new concept.
Is it not a new concept?
There was the animated armor or something that made it so that your hero can only take 1 damage at a time.
Right, but for the minion. And it says Taunt.
Well, yeah.
And it's also not in standard, I believe. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, but that doesn't mean it's not. That means it's even older.
It's a new concept to me. I've never seen it before.
Okay.
But the idea is that, for example, if your opponent were to have a full board of dudes, as in Silverhand recruits, you have to run every single one of those in there, right? So you need to, this min needs to be hit 5 times, or of course remove with the spell, and that's really annoying. That's like Giggling Inventor type stuff, which needs to take 5 or 6 individual hits.
Yeah, I mean, of course, with smaller minions or with direct spells, that might not be as big of a problem, but not every class has a polymorph or something that silences are available to everyone, but that also depends on how the opponent's decks are built, and I don't expect every opponent to have an answer to this.
So once again, control style. And this looks interesting.
Of course, this doesn't, again,
it's all in Rumble, not in Constructed. And the last one is the Parading Marshal. At the start of game, draw this. And Battlecry equip a true silver champion. So it's perfectly on curve. You draw it, you play it on 3, and then you already start hitting, which is pretty strong. Again, with the healing and even damaging your hero.
I mean,
with the weapon.
Yeah. So first of all, this has built-in card advantage because you're drawing an extra card.
Drawing it.
Stats are almost on point. I would say that generally 3-4 stats are what you would expect out of a 3-drop. So the stats are pretty okay, and it equips a really strong weapon. Synergizes with your shrine and offsets the disadvantage of taking damage by healing you.
So those are some interesting cards, and we're looking forward to.
And the worst part is you have to pick one.
Yeah, you have to pick one of those. I mean, give me Parading Marshal. I think looks really good.
I think it really depends on
so consistent
how the rest of your deck looks, but of course, the consistency is there because you're guaranteed to get use out of it, as opposed to the others where you might not even draw them.
Exactly, and this one is always going to be there with a great value on turn 3, so it's always going to be a great push for you.
Some more facts about the Rumble Run. The Rumble Run will be available on December 13th.
Alright.
That being 9 days after the expansion officially drops.
Just like mostly the single player contents are a bit delayed.
There will be 27 different shrines, 3 per class.
7.
And there will be 6 of those champions that we just shown you 3 of.
For
each class.
Wow.
For a total of 54.
That is a lot. So there's going to be a lot of variety. I like that. That's not bad. So every run is going to be, or has a chance to be different. So yeah, I'm hoping you're all excited for that as much as we are. If you are, then leave a like on the video for now. And let us know what you're most hyped for. What hero would you choose, like of those training partners or whatever they were? And what shrine do you think is the most impressive? I think Druid looks really strong. Druid Shrine?
I mean, it's tough to say which... I mean, of course, out of those 3
the one
shrines,
that we had revealed.
It's still tough to say because you don't know how your decks are going to be built. For Paladin, you can already imagine how it works with the teammates, and for the others, you really can't. So
we'll get that gradually over the next few weeks, as well as more cards that are going to be eligible for constructed play. So thumbs up on the video, we appreciate it, and subscribe to TrashcanTV Gaming, and maybe have a look at some of our other gameplays during the week. We play a lot of Hearthstone, but also some other games, and we have a podcast dropping every Saturday night live, just one day before the new Hearthstone Report. So be sure to check that out if you like it, and we're gonna see you in the next video. JJ.
That's it?
That's it.